The compass mode on this watch, well, the compass mode is accessed using the comp button or the upper right one, and well, we are in the compass mode. Entering the compass mode starts compass readings, and what's there to know? Well, keeping the watch at the level or horizontal, pointing the 12 o'clock to the direction you wanna of your desired objective, and the second hand will point north. The digital display will show one of the 16 literal direction indications or for the bearing angle. You can toggle between literal direction indications and bearing angle display by pressing the upper left button. And there it is, from degrees to the bearing angle. To re-trigger the compass operation at any given time, press the compass button. Now I'm gonna put in the diagram or the screenshot for you to better understand the what is the principle of bearing operation. Checking the altitude on this GGB-100 is done from timekeeping mode by pressing the Alti button, and the lower screen will show the altimeter in action. Now you can navigate between display screens by pressing the upper left button, and it will move from the graph to the altitude graph and the altitude value. The watch takes altitude readings every second for about the first 3 minutes. After that, it takes readings according to the watch's auto measurement interval setting. To re-trigger the measurement at any point, you would have to press the Alt button again. Now, interpreting the altitude graph content, maybe the best thing would be to put up a screenshot so you can understand what this graph is all about. Interesting thing to say about the altimeter functions after let's call in this segment checking the altitude differential or from a reference point. After you set a reference altitude, the second hand of the watch will indicate the difference between your current altitude and the reference altitude. This makes it easy to measure the altitude difference between 2 points while climbing or trekking. How to change the information indicated by the second hand. Now, whilst in the altimeter mode, hold down the upper left button for at least 2 seconds and release the button when set starts to flash. And we had a set flashed over there, and the hand will there it is, hand is flashing. Now press the lower left button 3 times, and after that is done, you will use the Alt button to select a diff. Now the diff is selected, and it shows a now what diff stands for. You have diff showing the seconds, or the lower screen showing the diff or the seconds. Now this when it's to diff, the second hand indicates the altitude differential, and when it stands sec, it indicates the current time in seconds. Press the upper left button to get back to the to exit the setting screen. Setting the altitude differential measurement range. Now enter the altimeter mode, and we are currently in the altimeter mode, and hold down the upper left button until set starts to flash and disappears from display. That's what happened. And sorry, this displays the altitude of your current location. Now press the lower left button twice, and this displays the altitude differential measurement range. Use the lower right button or the Alt button to select the sorry, these are the increments. There it is, 100, 1000. So I'm gonna go with 100 meters, but you can do what you want with those increments. Now I'm gonna press the upper left button and get back to the altimeter mode. Measuring the altitude, use your contours on your lines on your map to determine the altitude differential between your current location and the destination. That would be the basic settings for the altimeter mode on this GGB-100. Getting back to standard timekeeping is done by pressing the lower left button. Barometer mode or checking the current barometric pressure. Now from standard timekeeping mode, one press on the lower left one gets us to the barometer mode. Now entering the barometer mode starts the measurement and displays the barometric pressure at your current location and the barometric pressure graph. After you enter the barometer watch, the watch takes readings about every 5 seconds for 3 minutes. After that, a measurement is taken about every 2 minutes or every 5 seconds. To toggle between the measurement interval, you can change the measurement interval also. Now, how to navigate between the two displays? Well, it's easy by pressing the upper left button. I can switch the representation on the lower subdial. So here we have the representation only of a barometric graph, or the barometric pressure value and the barometric pressure graph. Checking the changes in barometric pressure over time, the watch can be configured to show a graph or pressure readings taken every 2 hours or every 2 minutes. You can display a graph of barometric pressure reading for the past 20 hours or the past 20 minutes. I'm gonna put in the a screenshot so you can better know what I'm talking about. Also, the interval of the changes can be measurements can be changed. Checking the change in barometric pressure between the two readings. When you perform the procedure of the barometric mode, the second hand will indicate the difference between the current barometric pressure measurement and the last two measurements values. How to perform that operation? Now enter the barometer mode, and we are currently in the barometer mode. Hold down the upper left button for about 2 seconds until set starts to flash, and there it was. Now this displays the current barometric pressure and enters the barometric pressure offset mode. Now we are going to press the lower left button, and now this displays the hand, diff, or the seconds. Use the lower right button to select the difference, and each press of the A cycles through the settings below. What the DFF stands for: the second hand the second hand indicates the barometric pressure or the barometric pressure differential indicator, and when I press again the seconds, it will indicate indicates the current time set in seconds. Now I'm gonna put in the graph so you can better understand what I'm actually talking about. So basically we have ran through all the specifications of the barometric pressure. Now how to read the barometric pressure units I've said previously, but you can use it to predict whether the weather is gonna be bad or good. Currently I'm shifting between the graphs on the barometric mode. Whenever the watch detects a significant change in air pressure readings due to the sudden ascent or descent or the passage of a low value or high pressure area, it will beep to let you know. An arrow will also flash on the display at this time if the watch is in the barometer mode. timekeeping mode with the barometric pressure graph is displayed, even though if it's displayed. The arrows that appear show direction of the barometric pressure, and these are called the barometric pressure change indicators. I'm gonna put them right over here so you can see what I'm talking about. Basically, that would conclude the barometric pressure operations on this GGB-100.